Hey guys, if you're getting this video, it's because you signed up to do kids ministry. And so this is just going to be a quick training to let you guys know what to expect on Sunday morning. So number one, thank you for signing up, guys. We need the volunteers. Kids ministry is super important to Jesus and to us at Thrive, especially those of us on staff. So thank you for stepping up to do that. There we go. So here's the schedule on Sunday mornings, kind of what you guys can expect to come into. So you guys know service starts at 10. So we need volunteers in their rooms by 9:50. This isn't with a name tag on. This isn't because I'm a stickler for people being late. This is because this is what we need to do kids ministry successfully. We never want a situation where a parent comes back to drop off a kid and there's nobody in the classroom, or there's only one person in the classroom with a bunch of other kids in there. Because if that's a first time guest and that's their first impression of our kids ministry, then they're probably not going to come back because they're going to think we don't care about kids ministry, or it's just not a priority, or it's just not a safe place for their kiddos. So always make sure that you're back there by 9:50, that you're early. I understand accidents happen. There's going to be mornings where you get a flat tire or your kids are just impossible to get out the door. I understand, but don't let that be the habit. Let that be the odd man out. That's not something that happens very often, because you guys only have to be there once a month. And so just try to make sure that on that Sunday that you're serving, that you're there at least in the classroom by 9:50. So service will start at 10, and from 10 to 10:15, you can see there's just a welcome activity for you guys to do with the kids as they're coming in. It's just kind of an easy activity for them to ease into class with, and for you to ask them about how their week was and how they're doing. From 10:15 to 10:35, we'll have worship and teaching in the main area. So I'll always come to the classroom and get the kiddos. So I'll go get the little kids and the big kids. The big kids don't have to, but they, at least the kids we have right now, really like to sit through the little kids' lessons too. And so we have the big kids and the little kids come in at first. We do the worship, the little kid worship, and the little kid teaching, which is shorter than the big kid one. And then the little kids will leave and go back to their classroom. And then we'll do one more worship song and the big kid teaching, which is the so-and-so show right now with the orange curriculum. At 10:35, then you guys will head back to your classes and you'll do one activity and you'll go through praise and prayer time. And so you'll see what I'm talking about, one activity, when we go through um, the packets, the curriculum that you guys will get. And so important information, like I said, make sure that you're in the rooms by 9:50. If it's your Sunday to serve, don't be late. So I would say don't get back there any later than quarter till, because you have to get your name tag and get checked in to be back there. Don't worry about bringing supplies. If there's supplies for an activity, as a ministry, we'll supply those for you. Now, if you start to get a repartee with your kids, or you're like, I know the kids in my class love gummies and I want to bring a box of gummies, that's totally cool. That's totally fine. Just let me know you're going to do that ahead of time. For those of you that haven't served back there that might not know, we have 3 age groups. We have nursery, which is brand new baby newborns up to 2 years or 24 months. We have our next classroom up, which is 2-year-olds up until I think 5-year-olds or kindergarten. And then our last classroom is 1st grade to 5th grade. And so those are our 3 classrooms. I wanted you guys to remember that we always want to be somebody that's excited to be there. When kids are in there, we want to be excited. We don't want to be humdrum, just kind of going through the motions, because the kids will take their cues off of what they think or how they react a lot of times off of the adults around them. And so if we act like this isn't a big deal, or we really don't want to be there, the kids are going to kind of mirror that and be the same way. And we don't want that. We don't feel that way about church. We don't feel that way about worshiping Jesus. And so we don't want kids to feel that way either. At the end, when you're doing prayer requests, if they're significant, write down the prayer requests and the praises and give them to me after everybody dismisses, just so I can have those to be praying for them. And so I know what's going on with the kids and our kids ministry. When kiddos come to get picked up, this is super important. Make sure that you take the tag from the parents, or at least match up the numbers, because sometimes they have multiple kids, so you don't want to take the tag from them. For those of you that haven't been here that don't know, when parents come in, we'll print off name tags for each of their kids, and then they'll get a little sticker that has a number on it. Each one of their kids' name tags has their name and that number on it. So when they come to pick up their kid, they show us that sticker and we can say, all right, the number is 365. And then we see that their kiddo has the number 365 on there, and we say, all right, she's yours, take off with her. The reason we want to make sure that we do that, we haven't had any issues with this at Thrive, but I have worked in kids ministries before where there have been people that have had domestic issues or had problems, and a parent that wasn't supposed to have them came in knowing they were going to be at church and tried to take them out of kids ministry without the mom or the dad knowing. And so that's why we want to make sure that we check those things. If you ever have a question, or if you have a parent that you're like, I know this is their kid, but they don't have their tag, just give me a yell to come check on that so that I can make sure that everything's okay. All right, guys, now we'll go through the schedule. So this is the first page. When you guys get this, it's a pretty big packet, but don't let that intimidate you. It's most of its activities. We'll only do one of those. And so this is just an overview of what the day will look like. It kind of gives you the breakdown of small group, large group, small group. Over here on the left, you have what the Bible story is, the bottom line of the sermon today, or the main theme. And then every month we have a memory verse that we want the kids to try to memorize. And so we'll go over this with them. Don't worry about the monthly life app too much. We aren't doing that a whole lot right now. And then it'll give you the basic truth, the main thing we're trying to get them to understand about God, the truth that we're trying to get them to take away. All right, so this is the early arriver activity and the opening activity. These will be pages 2 and 3 in that packet. So I'll usually pick one of these two for you guys to do in those 15 minutes from 10 to 10:15 before we go to large group worship, just to kind of welcome the kids in. This next page is going to be one of the 3 activities they provide for us to do after our main worship session, between then and when we do prayer. And so there'll be 3 of these. You can see they're pretty detailed. I'll always pick one of them and make sure we have the supplies for that, and I'll let you guys know ahead of time what that is. So don't be intimidated by all these pages of information, because a lot of it is activities that we may not be doing. And then at the end, it's just a reminder to pray and dismiss the kiddos. And the very last page is more for me, for what I need to have for you guys to be able to do the classrooms. And so I wanted to say, to finish up, thanks a lot, guys, for volunteering to do kids ministry. Like Steve said on Sunday, and like all of us believe at Thrive, kids ministry is super important. It's not just babysitting. It's not just watching kids so their parents can go to service. We're helping to care for the souls of these little kids who are the church right now. They're not the church of tomorrow. They're the church right now. The same Holy Spirit that lives in us as believers, if those children are believers, it lives in them and it's working through them. So thank you so much. Thank you for making kids ministry a priority. I'm looking really forward to working with you guys. Have a great night.